What's up? It's time. It's time for a show. It's coffee time. Best time of the day. I overfilled my mug. Alright. I think we're ready. And here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Tuesday, August 4th, 2020. My name's Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. See, look how full that is. It's good. Well, today, there's a lot going on today. Today's a big day. Today we've got Whistlekick Live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern on Facebook. Looking forward to it. I've got a feeling it's going to be even better than last time. Gabe and I keep finding new ways, new things to adjust, and I'm pumped. He does such a great job. It's on your nose, cat. Come here. It's on your nose. Nothing. Just moisture. She had a wet spot on her nose, and I couldn't tell if it was this scab or something. What else is going on? I'm going to the orthodontist. This is the first time in my life I've been to an orthodontist, and I am afraid. I'm afraid they're going to want to pull teeth out because they're going to look at my bottom teeth, which are kind of a nightmare. But they've always been a nightmare. And the only reason I'm going is because the prostodontist, which is still a fun word to say, wants me to go and see what they have to say. All right, cat, hold on. Okay, now you're on the back of the couch. Great. I was putting you in your blanket. You could probably recast, like, The Odd Couple with me and the cat. Because I think sometimes she forgets that she's a cat. So I'm going to the orthodontist. But you know what's interesting about the cat? Completely unrelated to anything else I've just said. Her appetite has gone way back up. We had some issues when she was on the pain meds that she wasn't eating nearly as much. So I took her off them. And she's eating a lot more now. And I figured out the trick to getting her to... So the vet had me put her on fish oil. She does not like the taste of it. And I would mix it in with her food, and it would basically ruin the food. But what I found was, if I put it on treats, I put it in a very small bowl with the treats, and it would soak into the treats. And that she would do. She wasn't thrilled about them. She'd much prefer the treats without, but she would do them, especially if she was a little hungry. And so now she's getting her fish oil. And she is moving much better. What else is going on today? I think we got an interview when I get back from the orthodontist. And then other than that, it's work. Madden clients. Working on programs. I got to figure out this whole program thing. Because they're not selling at the rate that they should. The strength program is doing okay. The speed program, I think we've sold 1. Fight conditioning has sold none. So that's really where my effort is. How do I get the word out on those? How do I present them as the impactful professional programs that they are? So I'm starting to reach out to some people, get some help on those, because that's what we need to do. We need to get some cash flow coming through, because it's going to be a while before. Look, I mean, the majority of what we sold before had to do with showing up to class and sparring. It's not happening in a lot of places. So to put that money that I don't have, but I could find, into buying more sparring gear just doesn't seem like a good use of money. So it's about programs right now. And I don't want to start on the next program. I want to get these moving a little bit. So, I don't know. I got some people I'm having conversations with. And yeah, just keep chipping away on it. It'll happen. Had the same problem with the gear when I started selling sparring gear. How do I sell this? How do I market it? And finally the answer was Amazon. Once we put it on Amazon, it did really well. So that's the question here. How do we make this work? All right. It's, I would love for things to be easier, but I do enjoy the challenge. I do enjoy figuring these things out because I learned something in the process. We've got rain, finally, from Hurricane, whatever this is. Isaias? Isn't that the name of it? I have cat hair in my beard, which is kind of perpetual. I'm convinced that when she finally passes, which is probably going to be like 20 years at this rate, that I will find cat hair in my beard for years. Good morning, Stacy. What are you doing? Just being cute. There. She did that, not me. Slept well. Yeah. Isaias is its name. Okay. That is a complex name. That is difficult to say. Maybe a little fun. Isaias. Hurricane Isaias. There we go. Well, I mean, my plants are fine because I've got natural springs and things on my land, but the rivers are way down, so hopefully this puts them back up. What else to say? I don't think there's anything else to say. Let's see what you all wrote in. Looks like we got stuff from Frank. Thanks, Frank. If you want to join Frank in sending me questions or comments, drop them below. All right. Silence is the sleep that nourishes wisdom. Francis Bacon. Sir Francis Bacon. Silence is the sleep that nourishes wisdom. Where are the cliches that we have our best ideas? Shower. Driving in the car. As we're laying in bed falling asleep. When you are procrastinating from doing something else and your mind is just going, right? Quiet time is important. And it's becoming harder and harder to find that time with, well, I can't show it to you because I'm broadcasting from it. That phone. This thing. This thing is robbing creativity, or the opportunity for creativity, I should say. Are there still creative endeavors going on? Absolutely. Has technology fostered creativity? In some ways, without a doubt. I'm listening to a book. Some of you may know that Bill Bryson is my favorite author. And there's a book that he wrote called One Summer. And this is my first time reading / listening, whatever you want to call it, to it. And it's about the summer of 1927, which a lot happened, an insane amount happened in this 3-4 month period. And I just like his writing style and he's humorous. And why was I talking about this? Oh, and one of the things that he references is how the current method of television broadcast, well, the original analog, I guess it's all digital now, but the method of electron scanning was developed by a 16-year-old as he was plowing fields. And he realized, hey, going back and forth, right? What was he doing? He was sitting on the plow for hours, days, and his mind was quiet. Or at least it was quiet and his mind was going. And he came up with this method and he diagrammed it out and shared it with his chemistry teacher. And a couple years later, he implemented it. And that's how the first real broadcast happened. Really cool. If you have a problem that you're trying to solve, don't underestimate the value of sitting quietly with it. Going for a long walk or a hike, going for a drive, getting on a bus, just going on a round trip to nowhere. And just settle in. The answers are there. Sometimes you just have to allow them to happen. Life will send you a ping pong ball before it sends you a bowling ball. Dan Millman. I suspect Frank remembers Dan Millman authored the book that started a massive change in my life, Way of the Peaceful Warrior. Life will send you a ping pong ball before it sends you a bowling ball. What does that mean? It means that you'll get signs, and if you ignore them, you'll get bigger signs. If there's something you need to adjust, you'll get signs for it. Right? She's doing her grunting thing. As I've gotten older, I've gotten better at recognizing the signs. It's a quiet rain. It's not quite loud enough to hear on the roof, but I can hear it. I've got the door open just a little bit and I can hear it kind of pitter-pattering on the deck. We tend to ignore those signs, though, don't we? The small ones come and we talk ourselves out of them. Oh, but that's just this. Oh, it'll be okay. We make excuses. And then eventually, the signs get bigger and bigger and bigger. We get bowling balls. And if that's not big enough, we get wrecking balls. And it doesn't matter. It could be a bad relationship. It could be a bad martial arts school. It could be the way you treat your body. It could be a lot of things. They're all there. Those signs are all there. Growth is difficult. Progress is difficult. And you have to look for the signs guiding you on how to make that progress. If you ignore the signs because change is uncomfortable, then you won't grow. You cannot have growth without change. It is logically impossible. The people who grow the most are the people who are most comfortable with change. I'm not always great with change, but I've tried to be. I've tried to get better. When you do jujitsu, you won't look at a bigger guy and say, "Oh no." You'll look and say, "How interesting, Hannah or Gracie." Um, I think that one depends on context. I've seen some BJJ practitioners make a really big deal about size of your partner or opponent not mattering. There are still weight classes in BJJ competitions, so it does matter. Is Brazilian Jiu Jitsu a martial art where, at least in competition, the size difference between competitors matters the least? Maybe. I'm not willing to make that claim, but it might. I can't imagine being matched up with someone in any way and saying, seeing what is obviously a disadvantage and saying how interesting. I'm a small guy. I'm used to being partnered and matched up with much larger people. Growing up competing, I wasn't much smaller than I am now. I'm trying to remember when I stopped growing. So I'm 5'6", 5'7" now, somewhere in the middle. Depending on when I was competing, I was probably 5'4", 5'5". I competed against people who were a foot taller than me. It's hard to score points on somebody with a leg that's, that much longer. I wonder how good I would have been if I was a taller person. Well, I wouldn't have developed the skill I have. I would have developed different skill. Maybe I could have some kind of Freaky Friday moment and swap bodies with a taller person and find out. How neat would it be if we could do that on demand? Find two people who are willing to train bodies temporarily and just see what it's like to be them. That'd be really interesting. I think we'd learn a lot. I think it would go a long way to building empathy, which I feel really strongly is the number one thing lacking in our society today. People are so scared. They can't even consider what it's like to be somebody else. One more. Life is about fighting. You are going to have to fight every day of your lifetime. Renzo Gracie. Mm. Yes. Agree. True. You're going to have to fight every day of your lifetime. How do you define fighting? Right? What are you fighting for? Fighting isn't just in the ring. It's not just on the street. Fighting is trying to overcome adversity, whether it's structured or random, whether it's family or career. Fighting. What am I fighting for today? I'm fighting to keep my anxiety at bay. I'm fighting to get enough work done in between these other things that have to happen and balance having some personal time so my brain doesn't melt down. Fighting to deliver the best content and products that we can. Fighting to maintain a social life and relationships and honor social engagements. I was intending to go to Taekwondo last night for the first time in months. And my anxiety just kept building through the day, and I did everything I could to keep it down, and I just couldn't. And so about 4 o'clock, I said, I'm not going to go. I'm going to try again next week. It was hard. It's hard to say that. Yesterday was really hard to admit that to myself. I struggled. It is the only opportunity I have through the week right now for training in a class. So yesterday was a tough day. I had a very difficult conversation with someone. It needed to happen. I'm glad it happened. There were some things that this person needed to know. And they were appreciative, and I was appreciative that I finally had the opportunity to say them. But in doing so, a lot of stuff that I had stuffed down came up. You are so grunty. Why are you so grunty? That's you. That's what you sound like. Imagine miking the cat for this show. If we did this, if we had a camera person, I would put a mic on the cat. Or at least I don't use it very often, but I've got this area mic that I've used, like, I think the last time I used it was when I taught a class over Zoom, when I did a version of The Magic of Slow. And I could take that and I could put it right next to her, and you'd all hear her going, she sounds like a dog, almost. It's kind of funny. Don't be afraid to fight. Don't be afraid to fight for what you want, what you need, what you deserve. Don't be afraid to fight on others' behalf, because maybe they're not willing to fight for themselves. And if that word fighting doesn't work for you, if it evokes too much thought of aggression, then think of fighting as working for, or overcoming, or charging forward. There are a lot of synonyms you could use. Find one that works for you and do it. Where are you headed? Get there. Take a step. Know where you're going. Leave me some questions, some comments, some stuff for tomorrow. I'll answer it. I appreciate you, Frank, for doing this and everything else. To the rest of you, leave me some stuff to talk about. It makes the show much more enjoyable. Remember, we do the show every weekday, 6:30 a.m. Eastern here on YouTube. You can listen to it later in audio form. There are a few of you that do that. We'll keep doing that. And make sure you join us tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, on Facebook for Whistlekick Live. What is this, number 11? 10, 11? I think it's going to be 11. It's almost been a year of this show. We said we'd give it a year and see what happened. I think we're on to something. What else? If you want to support the work that we do, make a purchase at whistlekick.com. Use the code FIRSTCUP15. Gabe, you're here. It is episode 11 tonight. Thank you. Or you could support the Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick. We just had a new person join up yesterday at the $25 tier. And this way they get access to new programs as they're released. Let's put it this way. All the people who have joined the Patreon, only one person has stopped their pledge. And it was because I know who this person is. And their life has been dramatically altered by COVID-19. I work hard to make sure there's enough value to justify what people are contributing. So take a look at that if you haven't already. It's a way that hopefully we both win. I'm going to finish my coffee and wrap my mind around going to the orthodontist. Hope you have a great day. See some of you tonight. See the rest of you tomorrow. Take care. Peace.